Hey guys, Andrew Darlington here with Veritas Risk Management. Today we're going to talk about the difference between occurrence-based policies and claims-made general liability policies and why that's important to you, because you're holding a certificate in your hand and you need to see, hey, is there something I need to do because it says claims-made instead of occurrence? Here in a second, I'm going to give you the answer. Okay, so you're doing a great job because you got a certificate and you actually looked at it to see what was going on, which is more than what 98% of folks do. So you're looking at it and the general liability section says claims made instead of occurrence, or OCCUR, or whatever on the certificate. Okay, if it says claims made, you need to do some stuff. Okay, and what you need to do is this. Number one, you need to understand why. So with an occurrence-based policy, if the claim happened and the coverage is in place during the policy period, there's coverage regardless of when the claim is filed. Okay, if you have a policy that's an occurrence-based policy, that means as long as the incident happened and the claim occurs during that policy period, whenever they file the claim doesn't matter. So for example, you've got a guy who's got a policy from January 1, 2023 until just January 1, 2024. Okay, if he builds a deck, something happens, people fall down, and that's on December 31st for a New Year's Eve party. If they file a claim in January, February, March, April, or May, it doesn't matter. There's still going to be coverage in that policy because the occurrence happened during that policy period. Okay, and that's important because some situations, and I'm not an attorney, my understanding though, if something happens to a 12-year-old kid, they have a really long time to file that claim because a lot of times they don't have to file the claim until they turn 18, and then the statute starts at that point in time. And so if a 12-year-old kid falls off, they might be able to sue 6 years later. That occurrence policy, because the incident happened and the damage happened during the policy period, you're okay. Claims made is a little bit different. So the incident has to happen and the claim has to be made within that claims made. So if that happens and something happens on December 31st, and they file a claim on January 1, unless they have what's called tail coverage, or they extend that policy further and keep it going, you've got no coverage. That certificate's doing you no good, even if you are named as additional insured, because there's nothing there. Same thing, something happens during that policy period, and then 12 years later, or 6 years later, that 12-year-old's now 18, files the claim. Unless they've had that policy continuously and look back to what we call a retro date, you've got no coverage. So you really need to be careful. If you see a policy that's claims made and you're in construction or anything else, typically the claims made is going to be some type of professional liability. That's generally the way it works. Doctors, lawyers, insurance agents, CPAs, it's a claims made. But usually you don't see that any other place. Now, that being said, when the market gets tight for insurance and insurance companies start to back off of what they want to insure, I have seen there was a few years where a lot of the general liability policies for roofers were claims made because no one really wanted to touch them, and it kind of limits the liability for the insurance company. So if you specifically, if you're a contractor and you have one that's claims made, you really need to be careful, because if they let that thing go or they switch from a claims made to an occurrence policy, they've got a problem. If they go from occurrence to claims made, not a problem. Claims made to occurrence, there is going to be a bit of an issue there. If you have questions about that, call us. Happy to help. 423-292-4142. You can text us at that number as well. You can also chat with us. If you're on our website, you can chat with us. And then if you're on some type of social media, hit the message button and we'd be happy to talk to you for that. Until next time, thanks and God bless.